there everybody, it's Mike DiLisio, and today I'm going to be reviewing Magic number 11 from designer Bong Wang-Zhu and publisher Pluto Games. And this is a two-player soccer or football themed game, depending upon where you happen to live. And it's one that's done through clever card play. So let me just give you an overview on how the game plays. We'll come back here and I will let you know what I think. All right, here you see Magic number 11. You've got the home team and the away team, and they're going to have their 10 starting player cards here. And all of these are different types of players. The cards with the red background are known as the forwards. That is their position in soccer or football, depending upon where you live. The green cards are the midfielders. And then you've got the defenders who are with the blue background, okay? And so each team has their starting 10, and then what you're going to do is each team is going to draft 3 star players out of this deck of star player cards, and so these just get shuffled up. You reveal 3, and then each player is going to choose one, and the other one gets discarded, and then you're going to do that 3 times until each side has 13 players. Out of their 13 players, they're going to choose a starting 10 and put the 3 that they didn't choose into the 3 substitution spots. Okay, so things might look like this after you've drafted your star players. You've got your starting lineup of 10, your 3 subs off to the side that you can bring at various points throughout the game. The game is played over 2 rounds, 2 halves of the game. And when you take a turn, you're going to be taking a 2-step process. The first step is to take a team action. The second step is to take a player action. We're going to skip the team action for now because that really only applies when you have cards already on the field. So the first turn for both the home and away players at the beginning of the first and the second half is going to skip that. Step 2 is where you're actually playing cards onto the field or taking shots with a card that is already on the field. So, first part, place a player card, and then you can attempt a shot with it if that is a possibility and you choose to do so. When you're placing cards on the field, you're looking at where they can be played. So they all have this color background, red, green, or blue, and that's going to tell you where you can play them. This is the red line, the green line, and the blue line. When you play these cards, they just have to be adjacent to that associated line. So these red cards can be played either in this row or in this row. They just have to cover up 2 of the rectangles in there. And one of the things you're trying to do when you place these cards is complete icons. Essentially, completing icons is good. You want to do that when you can. And so maybe you're playing cards in the associated lines so that you are lining up some of these icons, completing the icons in such a way that you can get a number of different icons on the field. So let's say that this player, the home team, and the away team would have cards over there too, but you get the idea. On a subsequent turn, now when you're doing the team action, you choose one or the other, pluses or arrows. Well, in this case, they've got 2 complete arrows and 1 complete plus. If they chose this, they would draw one of the synergy cards over here. These synergy cards all have a number of stars on them that range from 1 to 5. And basically what these cards do is they're going to help boost either your shot taking attempts or your shot blocking attempts. And so if you chose that, you would draw 1 for every complete symbol. If you choose the red arrows, you're going to move towards your opponent a number of the completed icons. So 2, maybe they would choose that and go there. And now they're in the red aggressive stance for a potential shot they may want to take. When you take shots, as it said, you can place a card and then attempt a shot. Let's say that I didn't have this card already and I'd placed it. Now I would be looking at number of soccer balls. I have a couple of completed soccer balls, so I could take a shot by placing a token, a shoot token, on one of those icons. Now this player has 1 less shot they can take throughout the game. I'll talk about how shots work in a moment. But that's essentially the idea. You're going to be placing cards, potentially trying to complete icons so that you can get better team actions and do the associated actions that they apply to. Sometimes cards like this one have a lightning bolt, which means that you immediately get to do something when you place it. And you get a little overview of these, but you can usually draw synergy cards, move up and down on the control marker, things along those lines. But those are one-time abilities that happen when you play a card. Okay, you're eventually going to want to take shots because the way you win the game is to have more goals than the other team at the end of the game. All right, and so when you take shots, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be getting some basic attack values, potentially boosting them with synergy cards, and trying to fall within a particular range. Essentially, what you want to do, the best attempt you can get if you're taking a shot is to hit the magic number 11. And how is that going to happen? That's going to happen with a combination of your basic attacks plus synergy cards that you can play. And so let's say that the home team was taking a shot, they're in the red, that means they can play up to 3 cards. But you have to be careful because some of the cards that you play, at least one of the cards that you play, has to be one that is face down and you don't know the value of it. So what this is saying is take a card from the deck and place it here. Now again, this could be anywhere from 1 to 5 stars. They have a basic attack value of 2. So this could be anywhere from 3 to 7 at this point. These next spots can be played if you're in the associated areas. If you're in the green area, you can play one here. If you're in the red area, you can play one here and here. What this is saying is that this one would have to come from your hand. This one could come either from your hand or from the deck, up to you. Let's say that that one was face down. They had no idea what it was. Maybe they had this one in their hand and they knew that it was a 3. They're going to play it there. They're going to choose not to play there because they're afraid of going over that magic number 11. If you ever have a value of 12 or more, you've missed the shot no matter what. Then the defense is going to be placing a number of cards depending upon the number of the icons that they have. They can place up to 2 cards for defense. You're going to be comparing those values. And if you are the attacking player, what you want to do is, again, be at a value of 1 to 10 without going over 12. 11 is perfect. So 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So as long as you had more than the defense's values, you would be able to score a goal and you would put the score marker there to show that, okay? Again, if you get an 11, the only way that could potentially be stopped is if the defense played a card that had a tackle symbol on it. Because what that's going to do is the same thing that's going to happen if you have a tie value on the strength, is that each side is going to take these penalty kick cards. They're going to choose one and then determine who is successful. So you would actually normally be looking at these. I'm just going to show you randomly. Let's say that the home team was taking a kick. They chose this card. The away team was trying to block the kick. They would choose maybe this card. You'd flip them over. The red team, or excuse me, the home team is shooting. They're shooting to the lower left of the goal. Did this player block that? They did. So it would be an unsuccessful goal. Things along those lines. So that's how shooting works. You're going to continue to do this until the synergy card deck runs out. Once that happens, there'll be one final player action only, and then that will end the half, or if it was the second half, it'll end the game. And whoever has the most goals at the end of the game wins. If there is a tie, the base rule says that it ends in a tie, and that happens a lot of time in soccer. However, if you really can't stand the idea of a tie, then you just go to penalty kicks. All right, that's the general idea of magic number 11. Let's head back and I'll let you know what I think. All right, so there you have magic number 11, and as you were clearly able to see, this is a game that is themed around the game of soccer or football. And they go through great pains, actually, in the rule book to state that this is not attempting to be a simulation of that particular sport. It's one that is trying to kind of show the tactics, the tactical elements of the game through this card game, essentially. And so I like that a lot. I think that if you had tried to make it a simulation, it would have been a very different game. Likely would not have been as quick and snappy as this game is. But I do think that if you are a fan of soccer or football, that you're going to really kind of get into that here. So do you have to be a fan of soccer to like this game? I don't think so. I think you can also play it as a fun tactical type of a game. It has, it has a feeling of a skirmish type of a card game. And so if you like those types of games, I don't think that you have to be a fan of soccer, but I certainly think it will help. I do think that your interest in the sport of soccer is likely going to be what either gets your interest about this game or maybe keeps you from taking a look at it if you don't like it. But even if you don't like it, if you do have a chance to play it and like those tactical types of games, it might be worth checking out. So the theme, I think, works. I think it is something that is unique. You don't see a lot of sports-themed games out there. And when they do, oftentimes they're attempting to be a simulation, and this is not doing that. So I appreciate that this is not an overused theme by any means. It is the most popular sport in the world. However, where I live in the United States, it is certainly not. And so I appreciate having more of an opportunity to play a game in this kind of a thematic world. The production of the game is very, very good. The quality of the cards is very nice. The wooden tokens being used for the control marker and the shoot tokens, very nice. They're screen printed. These boards are all nice cardboard mounted boards, and they all fit in a box this size with plenty of room to spare. And so I really think the production is outstanding. The one little negative I would have liked is that this is a two-player game, and there really is only that one reference card that never fails to surprise me why you wouldn't just put a second one in there. It would be so little cost. Just do that. Give each player one so you're not having to share it back and forth. There's really no reason for that. But that's really the one negative that I have as far as the production of the game goes, is just, give me a second player aid card. No reason not to. So as far as the game itself, I think that there are certain things that really work to its advantage. Number one is the length of the game. What do they advertise here? They advertise 30 minutes, and I think that that's very, very accurate. Maybe in the first game, it may take you a little bit longer to because you may be looking up icons a little bit more. But after your first couple of games, this plays pretty snappy. Once you've picked your starting lineup, you're just good to go. You're playing cards. You could attempt a shot with the first card you put on the field. May not be the best idea, but it's certainly something you can do. And so I like how quickly it plays. I like that it doesn't get bogged down in a lot of kind of edge cases. There's really none of that here. You're playing a card and maybe taking a shot, or you're building up those team actions so that you can get more of those synergy cards. The more synergy cards you have, the more kind of agency you have when you are either choosing to take a shot or defend a shot. And so let's get into that, because that's the meat of the game. Is really the way you get your points is by getting successful goals. And I really think that the system is clever. It's not strictly does the shot-taking side have more strength than the defensive side. I think that would be too simplistic, and I think it would remove some of the excitement that you typically have when you're trying to take a shot on goal. So I think it's very smart that they did a couple of things, they being the designer. A couple of things. Number one is making it so that there's always an element of the unknown. That is great, because thematically, there's always an element to the unknown in taking a shot. Any kind of crazy thing can happen. You might think you've got a wide open goal and you still kick it wide left or wide right or kick it over the top. So there's always that sense of the unknown, both as the defender and as the attacker, and I really like that. Also, just, again, not making it a strictly one side being stronger than the other, but giving you that range and the ability to bust, right? By going over that value of 12. That really makes things exciting. So I feel like there's almost never a time where the outcome of a shot is relatively known before the shot's even taken. Anything can happen. And so that's something you also have to kind of be okay with, is that there is going to be a heavy luck element in the game because, as I said, each side, the defender and the attacker, is going to have one unknown. And that could be a pretty big swing from 1 to 5. And when you're looking at this value of basically being within 1 to 11, that can be relatively swingy. So you do have to keep that in mind. You do have to account for that. There is an element of luck. But for me, in a 30-minute game that is kind of attack, defense, attack, defense, attack, defense, that's what I want. I want an element of luck in there because I want it to be exciting every time a goal is taken. I don't want the result to feel predetermined. It doesn't in this game. You have some agency, right? You often have some agency. Sometimes you really are stuck with playing one card face down, and then it's just like, hopefully. But usually you've got a little bit of agency in there, and so I really like that a lot. All in all, I feel like this is a really, really fun, quick game with a unique theme, a lovely production. So Magic number 11 has a lot of things going for it. I'm going to be giving it an 8 out of 10, and one I easily recommend. There is going to be a limit, I think, to the people it appeals to. I think if you have no interest in sports at all and no interest in soccer, that may keep people from wanting to play this with you if you suggest it to them. Maybe like, I don't really know soccer, I don't like soccer. So it's a limiting factor to some extent, although I like the uniqueness of the theme, so your mileage may vary on that. And you have to be okay with a bit of luck. But I am, especially in a game like this. So, all right, that is Magic number 11, an 8 out of 10. That's going to do it for me. This is Mike DiLisio. I will see you on the next one.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.